The first step of the input wizard is your company information. It's incredibly important to give as accurate details as possible when filling in any part of the input wizard, otherwise your dashboard may not give an accurate picture of your organisation. So let's get started. Add your company name, select your number of employees from the drop-down range, and then enter your main country of operations. Then you'll need to select your currency. The reason this is not automatically populated when you select your country is because many organisations will run analysis in a different country other than their own. For example, your organisation may buy tech equipment in dollars, but company trading is in euros. Select the currency that is default for your company, and note that Boardish currently only supports British pounds sterling, euros and American dollars. Next, add in the annual company turnover for your organisation. In many cases, you should be able to search for the company turnover online for the last year, or if you want a more current figure, we recommend speaking to your financial officer. If in doubt, add in a ballpark figure, but note that this can make a difference when it comes to your results. Next, move on to the employee information. Here you'll be figuring out which of your staff are most affected by various threats. Put yourself in the position of assuming that everything is not currently working. Which members of staff are completely dead in the water, which ones can figure out a workaround and still get some tasks done, and which are barely affected. That's how you work out your high, medium and low impact users. To use an example, ransomware has ravaged through the system of our imaginary hospitality company and everything is down in the office and restaurant. The accounts department can't retrieve credit notes to suppliers, can't access spreadsheets and have no access to databases, and whilst they could get a calculator out and start number crunching, they don't have access to the data they need to do that because it's all on the computer as well. So that's what we call a high impact user, because you've basically had to send them home. Now, a waiter who normally uses the online ordering system to the kitchen now has to go back to the old school paper and pen method and tell guests that the restaurant isn't accepting credit cards this evening. That's a medium impact user because the waiters are able to adapt their job in order to still complete their main tasks, but it's made it quite a bit harder and still impacts the experience side of the job role as well. Lastly, you've had a hectic day dealing with this ransomware and the cleaning staff come in. The only thing they use technologically is to check their rota. They are a low impact user because they're able to almost entirely perform their job role without technology, and the manager on shift can simply tell them who is due in next. This is the sort of depth you'll need to consider to provide an accurate picture of the effects that threats will have on your organisation. Don't forget that some user levels will be affected by others. For example, the manager on shift we told you about will have to start managing and organising rotas by hand, which can seriously impact one side of their job role even if they are normally focused on something else. So consider how the users interact when making your assessment of the impact. You can always come back and change it later. Now on to the salary information. Working out your work days per year is simple if your organisation is open the traditional 9 to 5. For example, it works out at around 260 working days per year, give or take. However, if your company works weekends, evenings or year round, you'll need to adjust the number to allow for this. Our hospitality organisation is open 280 days of the year. Now, move on to the average salary section. Don't worry, you don't have to start snooping into people's paychecks here. You can simply search online for the rough estimate of the types of salaries for your level of user. In this example above, I would search the average salary of accounting staff in the UK, the average salary of wait staff, and the average salary of cleaning staff. Of course, you may have different job roles bundled together, so simply take an average across the group of job titles. Now, fill in the amount of years it would take you to recover from losing market positioning. For example, if you had ransomware and it wiped all of your systems out, it might only take you several days to get back up and running. But in that time, news stories have been released about your organisation being compromised, your competitors are taking advantage, and it might take a little longer. But there are cases where it's different. For example, if you're a large tech company and you get compromised, you're losing a lot of faith from customers and even shareholders, and this can seriously damage your bottom line. So you want to make sure that you're taking into account all aspects of threats when considering your market positioning. Don't forget to click Save and Next before you progress to the next section, and if you have any questions or concerns about filling in the company information section, feel free to ask a question in our online Facebook community or drop us an email.